Yo guys, I'm still yellow, and if you were wondering what I have been doing for a very long time, I would recommend that you take a look at a video that I posted a couple of days ago. It's about me getting back into doing YouTube type stuff. In this video, I figured we should hit on a different topic though, not self-help and not updating on stuff. We are going to talk about CSGO. And this video is going to probably piss some people off. Maybe you will unsubscribe. It doesn't really bother me, or I don't care. I just want to talk about reality and the truth that is at hand, as he's doing some slicey stabby stuff. Some of these things are cool, but I don't really care too much. So CSGO is not CSGO anymore. This is not Counter-Strike Global Offensive. This is not the game that I purchased. This is not what I wanted when I bought the game. The game that I wanted was a game that I spent my money on, because I didn't get into CSGO when it was free to play. I actually bought it very, very late in 2013. So, yeah, where should I even continue? I guess I should just scroll through my inventory, because there's nothing else to do while I'm talking here. So, effectively, let's start with where we used to be and where we were. We had a lot of bugs, a lot of bad things going on. The game was glitchy. Some guns were absolutely worthless, like the Tech 9, for example. Like, there was a lot of bad things going on with the game. But aside from that, though, it was still core Counter-Strike. Counter-Strike 1.6 and Counter-Strike Global Offensive, in very many technical ways, had a lot more in common with each other than Source. And that was why a lot of people got into CSGO, because it followed the same kind of skeleton framework that used to be in 1.6. And I actually did play many hundreds of hours of 1.6, at least 200, but that's not really the point. The point here is that the formula, you seriously need to not touch it, because if you do, you're going to screw things over and up, and you're going to jade people that either liked 1.6 or they really like CSGO. Now, that doesn't mean that people aren't going to adapt. There's a lot of adaptation that you can do when you're playing these games, because they're very advanced. You got two teams, you got like 2-3 core objectives. You can wait out the time. You can destroy everybody on the enemy team, or you can destroy the enemy object, in which the opposite for the other team will then be to defuse the bomb, so that you don't blow up the cargo or whatever the hell it is, the crates. But okay, so where did we used to be at? Okay, we used to be at a game that demanded a lot more teamwork from the players. A good example will be how the P250 used to be pretty strong after a very early particular point. This is a classic, by the way. At that point, my friends, my viewers, is you can actually one-shot headshot somebody with a P250, and that is why I got so many, because I really enjoyed how skillfully you could play this weapon. If you were able to aim well, mid to long range, you could one-tap somebody in the head, and now it was one shot to the body, and you would be able to get that kill. Or you could be very close-up, and you could one-shot them in the head. Now, this one is apparently really expensive. Pretty cool. I bought that for 70 crowns. That is about $7 today with today's currency, but I probably paid like $3. Anyways, moving on. Yeah, I have no idea what to do with this sort of stuff. But I will probably figure out some like what of this sort of stuff I want to sell, but most of it I want to keep, because there's too much love for what like the history behind it, all the times I used it. But yeah, okay, so that's just a pistol. Let's go deeper down, okay? Way deeper. There used to be an argument about how you can stall out time with the smoke grenade, and I really truly get that. It was a problem, but the solution to that problem was not, I repeat, it was not to extend the time of every round, because now suddenly you play every round with way less stuff to do, which is obviously going to be way more boring for the player. But it also means that you get more time to play and do strategic types of plays and whatnot, so I do get the general sentiment. However, I don't think that was the right solution, because you could just tune down the freaking time of how long a smoke would last, and you would have fixed the entire problem. So that is a true fix. By the way, this is one of the lowest floats on Earth, apparently. It's really sexy, and I got it with these. Welcome to hell, yeah. Pretty sexy. But yeah, anyways, so what I'm getting at there is that, like, why did Valve go against what everybody and the community wanted? And worse yet, people actually preferred faster, more snappy rounds, rather than adding like 20 seconds versus the current, at the time, competitive general norm of how long a round was supposed to last. Like, you're really sabotaging how cool or quick or fast-paced the game could be. I find that to be just really annoying in a fundamental way. So then, what next thing do we have that we need to deal with and focus on or whatnot? Let's just take a look at this. Yeah. So Later down the line, Valve decided to nerf the AWP first once and then like 2 times more maybe, because Kenny S was so damn good with it. He was able to peek, aim, and kill people incredibly efficiently with it. However, nobody on Earth were able to do it except for him. So it makes no sense that you're nerfing something that is good only because one player is good at doing it. But sure, let's say that it became a widespread problem because other people learned it. Then I think it would be fair to nerf it. However, there should be a happy middle ground instead of just doing it because one person is good at the thing. So, yeah, Valve really are trigger happy at like dealing with things that they deem to be bad for the game rather than what is actually good or not. And that is, fundamentally speaking, something that I seriously do not enjoy. They're showing again and again that they really do not think through the things that they're changing, and instead, at best, they just add more cosmetic stuff because this prints money rather than reality of the game, and that is that the game should be good fundamentally to play. So then let's move over to the next thing, and that will be the economy becoming completely destroyed from the inside out. And this is all on Valve again, the CSGO team. So Valve figured that you should just give everybody money. Okay, we have tuned the guns, tuned the weapons, tuned all that sort of stuff. But, oh, come on, why did you have to make it so that every single round can pretty much be a buy round? Yeah, sure, there's more CSGO in every round, but that doesn't really matter when you don't have pistol rounds, because it was more cool to watch a round go down rather than not, in general, especially if you knew that there was something more at risk. For example, there were more rounds at risk, or it would become more difficult, or a more heroic, insane play had to be completed in order to be able to maybe win. So there's obvious give and take here, but they really kind of sort of screw that sort of stuff up. But that actually compounded with the problem of the spraying and tapping update that was happening like early 2016. Because that update made it so that one person could now destroy more people. He could kill way more people in the game, like in one round, assuming you got a good gun. But that's not the point. The point is that like it made every round more volatile. So, like, at all times, if somebody can clutch a round, of course they eventually will, but that's not my point here, people, listeners. My point is that if it can happen every single round, it will happen way more frequently. If it can happen way more frequently, reality has it so that it will happen so much more often, it will become relatively boring. So you're oversaturating the cool aspects of these clips and events and scenarios and whatnot, and therefore you make the game more boring long term. And I predicted that very heavily initially, and it apparently became true. It became not just true, it became absurdly, disgustingly true. Because now every round is just a mishmash fest of who can shoot the best. Crazy clips will happen all the time. It doesn't really matter or have any impact. And what are you and I left with at all? We aren't really left with anything except for like a very oversaturated experience, which is like fine by any accord, but this isn't CSGO anymore. And by the way, the tapping and spraying update made it so that trading in gunfight scenarios became way less prevalent. So suddenly, teamwork is way less important, because one guy can just ace everybody else anyways if you play it smart. Of course, it's less likely, but that's not my point. My point is that it wasn't as necessary, and therefore, socially speaking, people got towards a point in which this was not something that they then figured that they were going to do as much. Because two people going and attacking a point strategically, playing well together, for example, getting a good kill, that was suddenly like not on the list of priorities anymore. Because it was more important for people just to take safe gun battles. Because one guy, as long as he was able to live, he can kill two people at once as well. So sure, there's more skill involved in that sort of like general avenue. But again, the saturation effect is kicking into high hell gear, like absolute destruction type of max gear, which is really, really bad. Especially when you want the game to be more about the community and the players and teamwork and the social aspects, because this makes the game more fun, so people will have a better time together socially, so they will play the game more, and so there will be more of a dynamic in terms of actually becoming better and good at the game, and it will just improve the fun factor. No, let's be Valve, let's instead do the opposite. Let's actually just, you know what, screw this, we'll just remove it completely and just add all of these other things that currently seem good, but long term they will have the effects that I'm talking about. And that is what we are seeing basically. So indirectly right now, a lot of people will have reached Global Elite and they are dead bored of the game. They do not care anymore and they got no idea, like me, for example. I reached Global Elite 10 times. I probably could have reached it at least 50 times if I decided to farm accounts, but that is just childish and stupid. what I'm getting at here instead, though, is the general point I really want to hammer home, and that is that this is not CSGO. This is a different game entirely, and it's way less about teamwork, it's way less about strategy than what you think. Rounds don't need money planning anymore. You can just do whatever in a lot of aspects. It's honestly kind of like, it's really uncool and unfun, down to the core, at least for me, if I'm going to be honest. So, yeah, all in all, there's not too much more to add other than that there are at least 5 to maybe 10 more very tiny examples that all go in the same avenue of what I just talked about. I just can't remember them right now. But again, I want to hammer home the point that, like, this isn't the game that I purchased. I actually bought CSGO. I purchased this game. I spent money just to get it because I wanted the product, because I thought it was cool. I thought it had some cool stuff going on for itself, and I thought that the general dynamics of teamwork, which I didn't get in Call of Duty. I still technically enjoy Call of Duty, but, like, I never got it there. Like, those types of things that I really did enjoy, where are they? Do tell me, where are they? Well, apparently not in CSGO anymore, so then they're nowhere. Of course, there are different games out there, but you can understand the point that, like, when you spend this much time in the game, you adapt this much, and then eventually most of the core fragments of the skeleton that used to be CSGO have been removed from the body that will be the game itself. That's really sucky. That's like a really unfun experience. And yeah, like 10, for example, this is one of my first skins ever. 10k kills with a USP. 10k. That is an insane amount of kills. Yeah, okay, some pro probably have more, but yeah, this is also one of my oldest. Like, it's really sour. And the worst part, again, is that I know, we all know that Valve will not listen to us. When they don't even listen to Thorin, a guy that has been around CSGO since before, like, CSGO existed. He has been with 1.6 since, like, before it came to 1.6 as the name of the game, which is Counter-Strike, obviously. Like, if they don't even want to do that, there's no hope, because, like, there's no serious long-term hope in CSGO because of the developers. Because the developers are actually not taking the game as seriously as they should. They should try and make it to a proper type of esport game. And another signifying factor of this will be these crates. The esport crates. Where are they? So we can actively improve or change or balloon up the tournament pool for majors. Doesn't exist. Screw you. As a matter of fact, just go home and go to sleep and play something else. It's absolutely wild that these developers are thinking this and they are continuing down this path, and honestly, I'm just wondering when they will ever turn, because I don't think that they will ever, because as far as I can tell, these developers have had a god complex for a very, very long time in this game, and I think it started when Matt Wood, I think he's called, he used to be either a head dev or like a good developer for CSGO, when he quit. Or rather retired from doing coding for Valve in this kind of avenue. I think that was when, like, the downfall truly started, because almost every single serious thing that happened after he left, and he apparently was like somebody who did some serious work. Now, I'm like doing half guesswork here, but hopefully you guys understand my general point. I don't think I have too much more to say on this topic other than that it's still not a bad game by any means. I want to reiterate that. If somebody in the comment section don't understand that, do address this for me, or I will. But seriously, it's not a bad game, but it's so fundamentally different. I'm not surprised that the game does not maintain as many players as it should have, because Valve does not prioritize the right type of changes that everybody actually want, and even elite analyst type people deem as a good change. Like, when you put that aside, you don't even respect that, of course your game is going to some or a larger degree stagnate as an esport and as a competitive and cool and fun type of game. And also a teamwork oriented game. So, yeah, I think that covers most of the things I wanted to talk about in this video. There are still more things in that avenue I want to cover and clear up and whatnot. But yeah, that's like the first little dab of it. So thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys got some interesting comments. I know I could probably go and find every single source for everything I talked about here, but I've lived this game. I probably could dig up all the sources, but long term they will literally be on the Counter-Strike blog. Historic, like, updates from like 2014 to 16 summer or like that. And then you have the economy update and all that stuff in the end. Like, it's already there. Like, it's relatively easy to find. That was my source. We'll just do it simple like that. So yeah, do comment something interesting if you do have any thoughts that could be cool. I enjoy reading them. And that's really it for this video. So thanks for watching. Have a nice day. This has been your Norwegian hardcore PC gamer. And yeah, see you around.